Imagine this. A 72-year-old man comes into the ER. He's active, walks every day, never smoked. But one morning, he suddenly collapses while pouring his coffee. No warning. At least, that's what his family thought. But as a doctor, I can tell you, there were signs. There were hidden triggers building up for months. And today, I want to reveal the 5 most overlooked triggers of stroke after 60 that you must avoid. Some of these may shock you because they're things you do every day without realizing the danger. Stay with me because knowing these could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. Part 1. The silent danger of high blood pressure. Let's start with the biggest hidden trigger, high blood pressure. Now, you've probably heard it before. Hypertension is the silent killer. But let me explain why it's so dangerous for stroke. When your blood pressure is high, the constant force of blood against artery walls causes them to weaken and stiffen. Imagine an old garden hose with cracks. One day, under pressure, it bursts. That's exactly what happens in the brain when a vessel ruptures, leading to a hemorrhagic stroke. Case example, I had a 68-year-old patient, Mary. She thought her headaches were just part of aging. In reality, her blood pressure was 180/110, dangerously high. Within months, she suffered a minor stroke that affected her speech. Luckily, she survived, but her life changed forever. The key lesson: high blood pressure rarely causes symptoms until it's too late. That's why monitoring at home is critical. If you don't own a blood pressure monitor, I strongly recommend you get one. It's one of the cheapest ways to prevent stroke. Question for you: do you check your blood pressure at home regularly or only when you visit the doctor? Leave me a comment below. I'd love to know. Part 2. The overlooked link between sleep apnea and stroke. Now, here's a hidden trigger most seniors never think about: sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is when your breathing stops briefly during sleep, sometimes hundreds of times a night. Each pause lowers oxygen levels and raises blood pressure. Over time, this puts enormous stress on your brain and blood vessels. Case example: one of my patients, a 70-year-old man named Robert, was always tired during the day. His wife complained about his loud snoring, but they thought it was just normal. After he suffered a small stroke, we diagnosed him with severe sleep apnea. Once he started using a CPAP machine at night, not only did his sleep improve, but his risk of another stroke decreased dramatically. Why this matters: if you snore heavily, wake up gasping, or feel exhausted during the day, please talk to your doctor. Sleep apnea is not just a sleep problem. It's a stroke problem. Engagement question: do you or your partner struggle with snoring at night? Drop a yes or no in the comments. I'm curious how many of you deal with this. Part 3. The hidden role of dehydration. Trigger number 3 might surprise you: dehydration. As we age, our sense of thirst weakens. Many seniors simply don't feel thirsty, so they drink less water. But dehydration thickens the blood, making clots more likely. And what's one of the main causes of ischemic stroke? Blood clots blocking an artery in the brain. Real story: a 74-year-old woman was admitted to my hospital after fainting in her garden. She had been outside all day in the summer heat, barely drinking water. Later that evening, she suffered a stroke caused by a clot, all from something as simple as not drinking enough fluids. Tip: aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. unless your doctor has restricted fluids for a condition like heart failure. And don't rely only on thirst. Make hydration a habit. Question: how many glasses of water do you usually drink daily? Be honest. I bet most people underestimate. Part 4. Hidden dangers in your kitchen: salt, sugar, and processed foods. The fourth hidden trigger is something you face every day: your diet. Too much salt raises blood pressure. Too much sugar increases diabetes risk. Both are major stroke contributors. And processed foods are the worst offenders. They often combine high sodium, unhealthy fats, and additives that damage blood vessels. Case example: I once treated a retired school teacher who loved microwave dinners. She thought they were easy and not that bad, but her diet was loaded with sodium. When she came in with her first stroke at age 67, her blood pressure readings were sky high. The problem is that food labels are misleading. Even bread, soups, and so-called healthy frozen meals can contain more salt than you should eat in a day. My advice: read labels. Cook at home when possible. Use herbs and spices instead of salt. And remember, every spoonful of salt you cut could lower your stroke risk. Engagement question: do you cook most of your meals at home or rely on packaged foods? Let me know in the comments. I want to see what most of you are doing. Part 5. Ignoring atrial fibrillation. Finally, one of the most dangerous hidden triggers: atrial fibrillation, or AFib. AFib is an irregular heartbeat that can cause blood to pool in the heart. That pooled blood can form clots, which then travel to the brain and cause a stroke. Strokes from AFib are often more severe and disabling. Case example: I'll never forget a 75-year-old gentleman named George. He felt occasional fluttering in his chest, but ignored it. He thought it was just anxiety. One day, a clot traveled from his heart to his brain, causing a massive stroke that left him partially paralyzed. The scary part is that AFib can be silent. Sometimes, the only way to detect it is through a heart monitor or EKG at your doctor's office. If you ever feel palpitations, dizziness, or sudden fatigue, don't ignore it. Ask your doctor to check your heart rhythm. Question for you: have you ever felt your heart racing or skipping beats? Share your experience in the comments. It may help others take it seriously. So let's quickly recap the 5 hidden stroke triggers after 60 that you must avoid. 1. High blood pressure. 2. Sleep apnea. 3. Dehydration. 4. Hidden salt and sugar in foods. 5. Atrial fibrillation. These aren't just medical facts. They're real, everyday risks that I've seen destroy lives. But here's the good news. All of them are preventable or manageable if you act early. If you've watched this far, you've already taken a big step in protecting your health. Knowledge is power, but action is what saves lives. Check your blood pressure. Talk to your doctor about sleep apnea or irregular heartbeat. Drink more water. Watch your diet. Your future self and your family will thank you. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these hidden triggers surprised you the most? And what's one change you're going to start today to lower your risk? Share it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with a friend over 60. You could be the reason someone avoids a devastating stroke. I'm Dr. Your Name, And I'll see you in the next video where we'll talk about the early warning signs of a stroke that happen right in your home.